It's interesting. I've had a lot of authors in that chair, and a lot of them say the reason I wrote the book is so I could now focus on new things, because all the ideas, they couldn't get them out of their head until they put them down in a form that they knew were safe, basically. And now they could open their head to work on new ideas. So I always thought that was interesting as far as kind of closing that loop out to then move on to something else. But tell me about fear, because like you said, back in the savannah, we were scared of everything. And that meant that the bump in the night, all these things, it kept us maybe on our toes, from the saber-toothed tiger, or making sure that our kids were fed, and it was functional. In this day and age, especially with all of our phones beeping and popping and all these things, most of our fear receptors or fear indicators, they aren't life and death situations, but we take them as life and death situations. And add that within social media, and we'll talk about that. That maybe slowly grinds down people's confidence and their ability to take risks. And so then you get a bunch of people that are stuck not making decisions, stuck in procrastination. Is that kind of what we see? And do you think it's important for people now to re-engineer risk into their lives based on understanding the world that way?
Yeah, and I mean, the pessimism bias is something that I find fascinating. I joke around when I do the live talks. I try and bring like an element of like stand up into it. And I joke and I say, whenever I get a little pain in my side, I think, oh, this is it. I'm gonna die. Or, we all get that little sharp pain and we're like, what is this? Is something serious? Oh my God,
Cancer.
This is how it ends. And then like 2 days later, you're like, oh, that pain never came back. Or you get a phone call at 10 p.m. and you're like, who died? We always have this, no one's ever thinking, oh, this is gonna be the best news of my life. We always have this tendency to favor a pessimistic outcome. And, I experienced this when I was in my single days dating. The second before you're about to go on a date, you're like, this is gonna be the worst date ever. And you do have to kind of reverse engineer that and go, what if this is the best date that I ever go on? And we're very, very bad at doing that. And like you say, from an evolutionary perspective, being overconfident probably wouldn't have been the best, especially with, heuristics. How far away is that island? Could I swim to it? Yeah. Next thing you're caught in a rip and that's the end of your DNA. So I think that a lot of the time that tendency to be pessimistic is a safety net, but we need to reverse engineer it. Like you say, there's a chapter I talk about kind of Pyrrhic victories, where the victory is tantamount to defeat, where a picture that I saw once was a dog jumping off a cliff to bite a bird. And yeah, he gets the bird, but yeah, he also dies in the process. We don't really have any Pyrrhic issues that we face on a day-to-day basis. The outcome is never going to be truly that severe. And, even let's say yourself, you want a guest for the show, you're on their Instagram, suddenly you arrive at your destination, you might go, do you know what? Right now, I'm gonna message that person and ask them to come on, I'm gonna close that loop. Even if you do have a pessimistic outcome and go, they're not gonna say yes, you can start putting all these kind of different biases together. And I think that another one that kind of works together is pessimism bias and loss aversion, where we feel losses feel psychologically twice as worse as the alternative gaining it. Losing 10 pounds walking through East London, where's that tenner, feels worse than finding 20 pounds on the floor. There's a study that was done on 2 groups of people. Half were given a mug and half were given a chocolate bar. And although they were equated to be the similar value, if you offered them to swap, they wouldn't. And I joke going, the person with the mug would go, well, I'm not gonna have a cup of tea and a chocolate bar, am I? You're like, all right. Then you go to the other side and you talk to the chocolate bar people, they go, well, I can't eat a fucking mug. So once you have hold of something, it's a lot harder to give it up. And then that plays in with sunk cost fallacy. But with the loss aversion thing, say you're in a job that you don't find rewarding, you've now got pessimism bias, I'm gonna leave and hate the job more. Or you feel the psychological pain of losing your existing salary and safety net or comfort. You worry about losing that more than you can the idea of gaining something better, like a better work-life balance or whatever it is. So with the writing of the books, really what I'm doing is finding flaws in the way we think about things and bringing to people's attention how they come together. Like the loss aversion, psychological pain of losing things, we know objectively is something that we need to worry about. So then we look at sunk cost fallacy where, hey guys, just to let you know that you're going to struggle to walk away from things that you've put time, effort, and energy into, and you're going to make bad decisions based off not the fact it's a good idea, but you're making a decision based on your previous investment. So we've all had friends in toxic relationships, and we say to them, why are you still with this guy? And we've been together 4 years. They're using their previous investment as a reason to remain invested, not whether or not that's a serving relationship. So then we've got sunk cost fallacy, we've now got loss aversion. The fear of losing the toxic partner is causing more psychological distress than the idea of gaining someone else. And it's all of these things together combined with societal things and everything else that gives people this illusion that they don't have confidence. And even just bringing to people's attention these fallacies, we can start to break down and give them the understanding of why they feel this way. Because even though we're more connected digitally than ever, I don't feel like we share enough genuine emotions. And the fact that so many of us can seem fearless or confident because of the way we portray ourselves may make people feel they're very unique in having fears, in worrying about negative outcomes and in worrying about losing things, when the truth is, if we can let people know that we all feel the same, we can all work together to dismantle these beliefs to make decisions easier to make.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.